sacrifice your pleasure today for your future self, because everybody nowadays, they just sacrifice their future self's growth, their future self's progress for their present self's rewards, the pleasure that they want. Scrolling on social media for hours a day, eating junk food. When you eat junk food, you know that your future self is going to have to bear the consequences. You're going to gain more fat, you're going to be more unhealthy, but you do it anyway. When you're scrolling on Instagram, right, you know your future self, you know your mental health is going to get worse because you're putting so much dopamine into your brain. You know your future self is going to have to suffer, but you do it anyway. And in the modern day, everyone prioritizes and chooses instant pleasure instead of long-term gains, long-term pleasure that comes through discomfort. And that's why the question arises, how much comfort are you willing to sacrifice for your future self? Because short-term pain will lead to long-term rewards, but short-term pleasure will lead to long-term pain. And if you want to achieve a lot of goals, if you want to achieve a lot of things in life, if you're ambitious and you want to achieve a lot of things in life, you want to achieve a lot of goals, and to achieve those goals, you have to experience discomfort. You have to train your brain to start to experience discomfort. Because if you continue to lead your life in a way where you prioritize short-term pleasure to long-term pain, you'll undoubtedly lead a worse life. Be all these successful people, all the most successful people in the world, they always prioritize discomfort over comfort because comfort will kill their growth. You need discomfort for yourself to grow. You need discomfort. You need to avoid that pleasure, the short-term pleasure that you get right now. Because when you do that, your future self will be able to enjoy the rewards. Going to the gym right now, it's uncomfortable, it's painful, but in the long term, you have the rewards of it. By getting a better physique, you're more healthy. By eating clean, you become more healthy. You're cutting down fat, you look better, you feel better. And when people think about it today, when we think about today, right, every single person, they do this trade which doesn't make sense at all. Pleasure right now for long-term future pain. You will get pleasure right now for a few minutes while you're scrolling or eating the junk food. But in the long term, you're just going to experience pain. Once that pleasure is over, it's over. And all you're left with is the pain. Because pleasure and pain are like two sides of a seesaw. When one gets too heavy, right, your brain wants to level it back up. When you keep scrolling on Instagram, right, the pleasure side of the seesaw is getting heavier and heavier. So it's getting heavier, and your brain always wants the seesaw to be balanced. It wants it to be balanced. So what it does is it compensates on the pain side. It increases the pain that you feel, and that pain that you feel is the agitation, the discomfort that you have. That's why you can't stop after one piece of chocolate. That's why you can't stop after watching one reel. You want to watch more and more and more. Because your brain gives you that discomfort, that pain, and you don't like it. So what do? You compensate further with pleasure. And your brain compensates again with pain. And the more and more you compensate with pleasure, even more your brain is going to compensate with pain. So in the end, your pain is going to be heavier. Your pain side is going to be heavier than the side of pleasure. So what you're going to be left with is more pain. Because when you continue to do these activities that give you this hyper-stimulation, and your dopamine, if this is your baseline, your normal level of dopamine, your dopamine will rise when you're doing the good activity, when you're doing the pleasurable activity. But after you're done, it'll fall, and it'll fall below the baseline. So now you have this new baseline that's below the previous one. And the more and more you do these pleasurable activities, the more and more your baseline keeps falling. When your baseline keeps falling, you feel worse. Your dopamine is what gives you the motivation, the drive to do anything. And when your dopamine is low, you just end up not having any motivation to do anything. And that's very dangerous because you need motivation, you need drive, because we are all supposed to achieve something. We all have a purpose. We need to find our purpose and achieve it. We all should be striving towards goals like getting a good job, maybe starting a business, growing in that business, getting a good physique, becoming happier, becoming healthier. We need these goals, and we need to strive to achieve it. But because now there's such these modern technologies and modern developments, that's killing your sense of drive. You no longer have to forage for food or go hunt down animals for food. You can just order it on your phone. At the tip of your fingers, you have everything that you needed to work so hard for before. If you wanted some social connection, you'd have to go out, you'd have to meet some people, you'd have to become friends with them, right? And you have to go meet up with them. There's some sort of discomfort involved before. But now you can just open up your phone and start typing, messaging them whenever. So you're getting this Walmart version of the real social connection in social media. The small tiny dose of social connection that just leaves you satiated. It doesn't fill you up. That's why there's so much emptiness in so many people in today's age. So much emptiness because you're not following something, you're not growing, and you're not achieving anything, you're not striving for anything. That's why dopamine is so important. You need dopamine to have that motivation and that drive to go achieve something, to do something, even to get out of bed. Depressed people don't have motivation to even get out of bed. The severely depressed people, and that's because their dopamine levels are so low. And doing these pleasurable activities will take you to that level. Maybe it's now, maybe it's later, but at one point you will reach that level if you continue to do this. So we need to counteract this. And you need to train your brain to choose discomfort. Because comfort, your dopamine levels go up when you have pleasure, and it goes back down. And you have this new baseline that's below your old baseline. But when you experience discomfort, your dopamine actually drops while you experience a discomfort. But then it rises above your previous baseline. And now you have this new baseline that's above your previous baseline. So do you realize now how important experiencing discomfort is, and how it can heal your depression and your social and your mental health problems? When your dopamine level is so low, what we want to do, and what you do subconsciously, is you want to try to get that dopamine level up. And to do that, you indulge in these pleasurable activities, and your dopamine goes up, but it doesn't stay there. It just comes back below your previous baseline. So you are increasing your dopamine, but not for long term, for the short term. And in the long term, your dopamine levels keep on decreasing. So the better way to improve your dopamine and to increase your dopamine levels is by experiencing discomfort. When you experience discomfort, your dopamine baseline increases and gives you the long-term dopamine increase. Not just that short-term pleasure that you experience every time you do, like, scroll on social media or play video games. Even video games, it's stealing our desire, it's hijacking the systems that we have for growth and improvement by giving you these level up systems and by making you unlock new weapons. You get this achievement that you would have to work so hard for in real life, but it's so much easier to do in video games. So that's what most people go for now. But when you level up in video games and you achieve something, you're not growing in real life. In fact, you're regressing in real life while you're growing in the video game. Nobody cares about what level you are in the video game in the real world. And maybe your friends will care, maybe the people in that community will care. But in real life, who are you? How much have you grown? What kind of man are you? So you need to stop chasing that achievement in video games and start chasing achievement in real life, like going to the gym. Going to the gym is probably the first habit that you should start on self-improvement, because it gives you that sense of achievement when you can lift more weights every single week. When you can lift more weights, your physique starts looking better, you put on more muscle mass. So instead of achieving things in the video game, you're now achieving things in real life, and your status is going up, more people respect you, you're healthier, you're happier. When you achieve something in a video game, when you go 5 levels, when you go from level 5 to level 10, level 100 to level 200, how much happiness does that give you in day-to-day life? While you're playing that video game, you're thinking, oh wow, look at my level, it's level 300. But when you look at yourself in the mirror, are you happy? Are you happy with what you're looking at? Of course not, because you haven't taken care of yourself, you haven't gone to the gym. When you look in the mirror, do you see a loser, or do you see someone who's achieving something, who you're proud of? And that's why we should start chasing achievements in real life, because when you look in the mirror after going to the gym for 1 month, 5 months, like 1 year, 2 years, you look at the mirror and you can't even recognize yourself anymore. You have this achievement that's at such a high level, and most people aren't even going to the gym. Right now, gym culture is improving. More people are starting to go to the gym. More gyms are opening up around every corner in the street. So when you go to the gym, you're building up this achievement, and you feel so much more fulfilled than if you were to achieve something in a video game. And the achievements in a video game are short term, just like the pleasures and the comfort that you have. Achieving something in a video game is way more comfortable than achieving something in real life. So we need to now start training our brain to go towards this achievement instead of that. Going towards the achievement of real life, going towards achieving real things and discomfort. Because when we experience discomfort, we achieve growth. So we need to now start to train our brain to achieve discomfort. And when we do that, your life will start to improve along with your mental health. And your mental health is the most important thing in your life. Because no matter what you have, no matter how much money you have, no matter what cars you have, if your mental health is not good, you can't feel happy. If you barely have a good house, if you have a decent house, a decent car that just runs, and if you have really good mental health, you're going to feel so grateful for it, you're going to feel so happy every single day. And you know the stories of these businessmen, right, who have everything in the world, the cars, the women, the money, the houses, but they're still depressed. Why? Because they indulge in these comfortable activities, they get complacent, they start indulging in good parties, start doing drugs, start drinking, and they stop going towards discomfort. And what happens? Their mental health declines, and they're not able to enjoy all the wealth that they have accumulated, all the wealth, the women, the money, the cars. They can't enjoy any of it because their mental health has just downgraded so much. So to protect yourself from that, to improve your mental health and to improve your life quality, you need to start going towards discomfort. Start taking action. Start going to the gym. Start doing things that you don't want to do, the things that you're procrastinating. Because once you do that uncomfortable activity, your dopamine levels will increase. And you will feel so much better after a good workout in the gym. Don't you feel so much better, so much more proud of yourself? Because you worked hard, you achieved that discomfort. And that discomfort will lead to an increase in your dopamine baseline. And that will lead to a better mental health. And isn't that what we all want? Happiness. And happiness is achieved through better mental health. It's not achieved through exterior things or like material things, cars, money. Just like the example I told you, like that won't give you happiness. What gives you happiness is through your own mind, in the interior of your skull, your brain. That has to generate happiness. Nothing in the outside world will generate happiness unless you generate it from the inside. And your mental health is at the forefront of that. And when you experience discomfort, you're increasing your mental health. You're improving your mental health. And that will just give you such happiness and joy in life. And you need to take this seriously because we're not talking about some small thing that you're going to do. This is for life. This is for the improvement of your life. To make your life better, when you improve your mental health, you're going to be such a better person towards other people and towards yourself. The problem with these pleasurable activities that you do, like when you get older, when time passes and you now have to deal with the consequences of it, you're now cursing your younger self. You hate your younger self. You're like, why did he just do that? Why couldn't he just go to the gym? Why did he eat that junk food? Because now I'm fat, now I'm unhealthy, now I don't look good, now I feel bad. Just because my younger self did those pleasurable activities without thinking about me. But when you do these uncomfortable activities, going to the gym, eating clean, staying away from social media, stop scrolling on Instagram, staying away from video games, these are all very hard things to do. But if you can do that, your future self is going to look back at you and it's going to be grateful for you. It's going to think, I'm so grateful for my younger self because he refrained from eating junk food, because he went to the gym, because he experienced that discomfort. Now I'm able to enjoy the rewards of it. Because think about it, time will pass anyway. Today, tomorrow, and day after will pass anyway. And the day after that, who you are is what matters. You're going to be standing there, maybe 1 year from now. You're going to be looking at the mirror, and the only difference would be whether you went to the gym every day or not, whether you went consistently or not. You could either be fat in front of that mirror, or you could have a athletic, you could have a lean physique, you could have a good physique, and you could be healthier, you could feel better. In the same position, what you did in that 1 year, was it pleasure? Did you indulge in pleasure? Did you eat the junk food? Did you not exercise? Because that time has passed. Your pleasure is over. Your pleasure is over. That time has passed, and now you're standing here with the consequences of your actions. Or did you go to the gym, eat clean? Because that time is also over. And that time has passed. Right? Right now, are you enjoying the rewards of it, or are you bearing the consequences? So keep that in mind. Time will pass anyway. So make sure you spend that time diligently. Make sure you do the things that's going to improve your life, that's going to give rewards to your future self. And this is the great thing, like when you're that future self and you're reaping the rewards, you've done the uncomfortable activities that you had to do. You've gone to the gym, you've stayed away from eating junk food. And when you look at yourself, you just start to love yourself more. You just start to take care of you start to treat your body like a temple. You don't put garbage in there. When you've spent so much care and so much time taking care of your body, going to the gym, you don't feel like eating junk food anymore. It's the same with me. I used to eat so many chocolates. I used to just binge eat chocolates before. But once I started going to the gym, I started eating clean slowly, right? And right now, I don't even feel like eating chocolates. You can put a whole basket of chocolates in front of me and I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't touch it because I just love myself too much. I treat my body like a temple because I've just spent so much time and so much discomfort taking care of it. I've experienced so much discomfort and I've spent so much time and effort taking care of this body that I won't easily do something to destroy it. I wouldn't easily do something to, hurt my progress. So when you start loving yourself, when you start taking care of yourself, you're less likely to do the things that are destroying you. And because my mental health has improved so much by doing the uncomfortable activities, I'm also less likely to do the bad habits. Because you do the bad habits because your mental health is bad. Your mental health is bad, so your dopamine baseline levels are pretty low. So when you try to get that level up, you do these bad habits, playing video games, eating junk food, scrolling on social media, scrolling on Instagram. You do that because your mental health is bad. You need something exterior to make yourself feel good. But when you do the uncomfortable activities, it automatically improves your mental health. And now you don't feel like doing the bad habits anymore. Because you don't need anything exterior to make yourself happy. And I don't need anything exterior right now to make me happy. The work that I'm doing right now, teaching what I've learned on this journey, that's giving me so much fulfillment, so much happiness that from the inside I have this happiness and fulfillment that I don't need now to go and get something external to fill that void. And the only way to make yourself feel happy and to feel joyful is if it comes from the inside. So that's why you need to start taking the uncomfortable route. And the way to do that is not by immediately starting the gym or to immediately cut out all junk food in your life. It's to take it slowly. Because if you make an explosive change to your life, you'll just fall back down. Maybe you've tried it before. Maybe you've tried throwing away the junk food, deleting the social media apps from your phone, but it's never really worked. You just re-download the app or you just buy more junk food because you need a slow improvement to your life. You can't just improve it in a way like just instantly. You can't improve it. So what do you do now? If you eat junk food 3 times a day, from tomorrow try to make it twice. And the day after that try to make it once a day. And every week you try to lower the amount of junk food that you're eating. Because improvement is not about adding on. It's about removing the things that are not required. Just trimming the fat and keeping the meat. Self-improvement is not about adding things in. It's about removing. We add things in to make our life better. But if there are things that are holding you back, there's no point trying to add in the things that are going to improve us. We need to first get rid of the things that are holding us back. So try to reduce your junk food intake. Every week try to reduce it more and more and more. And every week try to start exercising more and more and more. Maybe do 20 push-ups, 10 push-ups a day, every single day. If you can't do 10 push-ups, do 5 push-ups. If you can only do 1 push-up, do 1 push-up. Do 1 push-up. Just slowly start as much as you can. Right now, focus on what you can do. If it feels too hard, then don't do that. Lower the weight. lower the load at which you're doing. Because when you start going to the gym, you don't try bench pressing 100 kgs on the first day. First you start off with the empty bar, and then you add on 5 kgs, 10 kgs, and slowly you start building up that weight. So that's what you need to do with your habits as well. You need to slowly start building it up. You need to now do something that you can do that doesn't feel too uncomfortable for you. Because your brain is not accustomed to discomfort. You need to now start training your brain for discomfort by doing it slowly. Don't try to explode change into your life. Bring it in slowly. Reduce the junk food slowly. Increase the exercise and the discomfort that you're doing slowly. If you spend 8 hours a day on Instagram, tomorrow try to make it 7.5. Try to make it a little bit harder for you to use Instagram. Right? Maybe move it away from the home screen. Right? Or make your phone black and white so it's less attractive. Right? You can do all these things, and you have to slowly start reducing your bad habits and slowly start improving your good habits. When you do that, it becomes so much easier for you to bring change into your life, because trying to bring like this massive change into your life is trying to bench 100 kgs on your first day at the gym. You will almost always fail. So what you need to do is slowly build up, slowly put on the weight, slowly progressively overload your good habits. And before you know it, like within a few weeks, you just look back and think, how did I make so much progress? You're going to be doing your bad habits so much less. So less frequently. You're going to be doing your good habits way more frequently. And that's how it was for me when I was on this protocol. When I was on this protocol, I started reducing my bad habits slowly and increasing my good habits. And within 2 weeks, and I was just looking back and thinking, how did I reduce my bad habits so much? How did I improve doing my good habits so much? Like, it doesn't even feel that hard to do the good habits now. It doesn't even feel that hard to resist the bad habits, because when you slowly bring change to your life, your self-image improves. When your self-image improves, right, your self-image is the lowest point at which you can go. Your self-image is how you see yourself. And if that's at a good level, you'll always fall to your self-image. And when you slowly bring changes into your life, your self-image goes along with it. So it's harder for you to fall, and you'll always fall back there. So that's why it's so important to slowly bring changes into your life, and your life will improve. When you follow this, right, within a few weeks, within 2 weeks, your life will improve. But you have to remember, you're not going to cut out the bad habits right away. You're not going to start doing the good habits at the best right away. You're going to have to do it slowly, and that's the only way. So stay on this path and you will see success. Take my word for it, because I did, and you will too.